Well, first of all, very warm welcome and thank you very much for joining. I would start with slight introduction. Ravi, you being here with us today, and as we discussed earlier, I think it's the generation 2 you are part of it. Why don't you introduce yourself as well as a little bit about the company as such?
Right. So I'm Ravi Toshniwal and I'm Managing Director of Banswara Syntex Limited, which was started by my father in 1976. The company has a history of going from spinning to fabrics and then garments, and now we are also entering brand.
I am Ammol Petwe. I am part of Future of Work practice at Searce. And Searce is a fast-growing modern technology consulting firm. We basically leverage cloud data and analytics to bring business outcomes for our customers, our enterprises across the globe.
When you look at technology for your company, and what is the primary things you're talking about transforming today?
Because technology is an enabler that makes your job easier and makes all of the people who work within the company more relaxed in doing the grunge work, in doing the clerical part or doing stuff that is typically boring.
Vanilla, yeah.
And focus on what really needs to be done.
If you see the discussion with Ravi is going towards how traditional industry type is also utilizing technology today. Yeah. I think 3 pillars to that I would call it in a manufacturing perspective. First is the supply chain, which is coming from a raw material to a sort of intermediate stages and process it and etc. Then shop floor automation, machines, shop floor, people, labor, vanilla processes, repetitions, etc. And then goes distribution and engagement and collaboration across retailers, suppliers, wholesalers, people, buyers and collections, etc. Today, I don't think he can think any of these processes without technology.
Absolutely.
Okay. But from a CS perspective, if I have to transform an organization such as Ravi's organization, how would you take it forward?
What we want to do is we want to help enterprises realizing the real value of the technology, give a complete advisory services first, implement those technologies, and then manage year on year so that the engagement is there and the adoption of those technologies is also taking place.
What is your views around collaboration? How have you done it in your organization? Still there in more to do as more productivity be brought in, or we think we have done a good justice to it?
Embracing all of the interfaces that technology has allowed for collaboration is something that we had begun this whole process, but it doesn't take away from the human factor. The human factor of when you have to deal at the shop floor level, you may still need different interfaces and different types of meetings, which may or may not be technology enabled. You'll have your quality circles, or you'll have your meetings right after the shift ends, or you'll have but it can be informed. Every meeting can be informed through technology and data about what happened and what we need to discuss. And that then gives a quality to the meeting, which is much more useful.
We are augmenting human with such sensitive data processes that they're able to take informed decisions, whether what happened and what is the reflection. One decision is operational decision, another decision is strategic decision. Operational is, for example, next shift what's going to happen. But for a month, how's my sort of inventory looks like, I can only predict. What's the quality of product look like, I can only look at that. Right?
What is the consumer going to want in the future?
In the future. We're going to look all of that. Now, it's as I said, CS was the partner for them. They invested. So I have seen, as statistically proven by McKinsey, that organizations who invested into technology ahead of time, they were ahead of their stock prices, ahead of the market share, at least 10%. So if industry is growing with 15%, then Ravi type of an organization or Banswara type of organization would be growing at 25%. So they've taken ahead of 10%, because they invested early into technology. But only investing into technology doesn't really solve the problem, right? They really need partner like Searce to come forward. Now, for you to understand productivity issues and choose Google Workspace, right? I mean, it's also like you said, we have Zoom, we have other productivity collaboration suites, but we choose to Google, and Google sort of gives them the comfort. Two questions here. One, what have you done, and specifically why Google Workspace?
Okay, so let me answer your first question also, which you asked to Ravi, which was the collaboration. And I feel collaboration basically brings three improvement within the organization. One is the innovation, because there are a lot of people, a lot of brains are coming together and forming an idea, which then the visionaries like Ravi kind of sanctions, right? The second is efficiency, because then you have all the tools and technologies which otherwise these people did not find in the enterprises, but at their homes they are already using these. Okay, and that's why Google is far ahead in terms of bringing these tools in individuals' lives first, and then brought it on the enterprises.
So the convergence of business to sort of a individual to business is faster.
Correct. Right, and then people could immediately connect because they were using these Google Drive
They were
at their
already using Gmails, right?
end,
Yeah.
right? Emails, they were already using it. So that is the thing. And the third important part is, what is important is, even though we know what we have to do, that's like vision is pretty much clear. We need to have a set process, and that process was only possible to implement. We call it as change management process because of the leader we have in the organization. So the companies who even though invest in technology, but then they could not gain the adoption, are still behind. Okay, then the companies who implement change management too. Sure. And this is where Searce comes into picture. We have been doing more than 3,000 domains that we have implemented Google Workspace across. What we have observed is the companies which have implemented change management are the companies they want to continue for another 5 years, 10 years. They are not looking beyond Google Workspace at this moment, or rather they want to explore more innovations which Google is bringing in and how they can implement for their enterprises again.
Last two parts I would go. First, what are the values you can associate? You got by associating with Searce and Google as a collaboration suite. Top of the mind, not that you have measured it, etc. But now it's been years, right? 5-6 years with you managing it. I'm sure from your corner office you can associate saying that, hey guys, I think
I think there's a lot more that we can do with it. It is something which has become a base platform, and we are adding in plugins into the Google Workspace. So those plugins can come in from outside, or the plugins are also being now, like say for example, we put in SAP after we had this. And SAP then has taken over as the enterprise management software. And SAP is churning out reams and reams of data. And we need a tool now to plug in that and allow collaboration through that data from the Google Workspace. So they have to come up with something which does that, which they have apparently. And so now I'm waiting to see how we can introduce that. And there'll be many other plugins which will come in from, say, this generative AI. And how generative AI will be used for particularly trying to give and delegate the HR part of KPI management down the line.
the CHRO is on the spotlight.
So the HR division does not have a mandate and cannot be the jurisdiction which decides that this is how you will be measured.
Sure.
The key performance indicators have to keep evolving and changing as the customers want.
A great point. But you saw the expectations, a lot can be done, right? What is the value you think next couple of years can be a synergetic between you and Ravi?
So some of the areas that we have already spoken about, one of the ideas, he has SAP entire modules which are running on this platform, right? And there are a lot of data which he wants to kind of take out and run some analytics on top of it. We have both the platforms available. So it's a straight away integration of SAP with Google Sheets. Data is available with us. Then using Looker Studio, kind of a business dashboards to actually run analytics on top of the data that we have already collected. So that is one way to look at it. So all the top management actually gets a dashboard, okay, and takes certain decisions which would be faster than what it is today. That is one. Second piece is on the Gen AI side. Google Workspace has a Duet AI platform which is integrated. You don't have to use ChatGPT or Bard kind of a consumer application, straight away integrated within the platform.
I think in the last, I would, Ravi, if you can advise the audience, as the leader of the organization, what are the 2-3 things they should be doing or looking at it?
Almost instantaneously, like e-commerce for the tailor, directly from the warehouse to them, and they'll only have small booklets available, and the next day they will get what they need, right? So the whole platforms are changing. So what we have to keep aware of now is how are we going to serve the consumer in a much more personalized way. So, and while you're doing this, you have to be conscious of the fact that just increasing production is not the answer.
Yes.
Because there is a problem now of what we may call the science-based target, a science-based environmental target. And a science-based target means that whatever your footprint, carbon footprint is today, needs to be reducing 10% every year, and your business plan has to be based on that.